Hi everybody, hope you're doing well. Today I wanted to talk about a topic called the 7 deadly sins. I got this from my producer Travis. He was the one that's been dying for me to talk about this. So it led me to really research. I do know it came from the Catholic faith and church, but I wanted to do more research on it. And what I found is, according to the Roman Catholic theology, the 7 deadly sins are the 7 behaviors or feelings that inspire further sin. So I wanted to see what were they, because I am not a Catholic. So I thought this is going to enlighten me too. So the first one is greed, gluttony, sloth, pride, wrath, lust, and envy. So I started to do my homework on this. And of course, we all know what greed is. When you have more than you know, and more than you know what to do with, but you do nothing constructive with it, or you're very selfish with it. You don't pay it forward, you don't help others with it. Gluttony, too much of one thing, and it's not good. Sloth, when you are lazy or do not want to try. Pride, when you feel you are above everyone and anyone that gets in your way, you want gone. Wrath, bad temper, and your temperament is compromised. Lust, when someone is physically attractive, but you are not ready to see the person's whole well-being and soul. Envy, when you are so focused on what a person has. Good points, good observations. So as I was reading all of this, I thought, well, how could we shift the 7 deadly sins? Now you're going to say, well, what do you mean? Well, I kind of thought about it as you can use these 7 deadly sins as a positive or a negative for you. And when I looked at envy, I thought, well, can we use it on one as, instead of looking at somebody with envy and wanting and wishing you had it, how about looking to see if that person has so much, how can they inspire you? Think about it. There's a yin and a yang. I always say that. So for every deadly sin, as they call it, how can we use this sin to better our soul growth? And that's what got me thinking. Same thing with gluttony. Okay. I look at gluttony. Too much of one thing is not good. But what happens if you started focusing on something that took you to something even better because you did focus on it? I remember when my daughter had autism and she was diagnosed at around 6 years old, I became a research fiend about autism. And this is why I am very well educated on it. And I thought to myself, this is all I did. I ate and slept autism. And what came out of it was me helping my daughter, and her autism literally became in remission by the age of 10 years old. Now, you're going to say, well, how did you do that? I literally focused on that avenue and looked at all scientific versus spirituality versus health and wellness. But my point is, they look at sloth as something that you are just too lazy and you just don't want to try. How can you turn it into something? All right, so this is something that I do want to say. So when you can turn something into a positive of these 7 deadly sins, they really aren't going to be a sin, but maybe leading us in the direction to where we need to go if we shift it. Make it work for you. It got me really thinking about that. You know, it's basically, when I look at the 7 deadly sins, I'm actually thinking about getting in touch with yourself. How can you self-improve? So, you know, I get the theology of it and what you want to stay away from, but in another way, look at greed. And when you see how somebody is so greedy, maybe it's going to teach you not to be so greedy. Think about that. Gluttony, too much of one thing isn't good, but maybe if you take that one specific thing and focus on it, because something better is going to come out of it because of the focus in a good way, in an inspiring way. Okay? Sloth, when you're lazy and you don't want to try. Well, maybe you can be lazy, but I don't see it that way. What happens if you want to read a good book? What happens if you want to meditate? That's not a form of laziness. It's a way of taking laziness to be still and being productive with your spirituality. Pride, when you feel you are above everyone, take that and say to yourself, maybe I'm on a higher level than most people, okay? How can you inspire and help them? How can you lead them to see what you already see? It's kind of nice, isn't it? Wrath, bad temper, your temperament. Think about if you have an uncontrollable temper, what can you put it towards to shift and calm the bear inside you? Think about some of the things that you need quieting and what is going to calm you down. How can you shift that? If people are making you crazy, maybe find different friends. Maybe find different family members. Maybe you can shift it and apply it to something that can help you. Lust, when someone is physically attractive, but you just only see their outer. Well, I always say good looks run so deep. Everybody is going to get old, and the perspective of what beauty is lies within. It isn't that you have no wrinkles and your face looks beautiful and not a flaw on it. And I can look at somebody who is on in years, and I look at every beautiful wrinkle with integrity, experience, knowledge, soul growth. All in how you look at it. Envy, when you are focused on what a person has. Why don't you focus if they have something, like I said earlier, maybe it's going to give you more devotion to get somewhere too and you not being lazy. When I see self-made people and I see what they've accomplished, that inspires me. It always did from a child. And I thought, wow, if they can do it, I can find my niche and I can do it. You don't have to be exactly like everybody, but use the people that come into your life as an inspiration and a learning tool to grow. So, when we hear about the 7 deadly sins, let's put it in a good perspective. Let's shift those 7 deadly sins and let it work for us in a direction that we need to go and counteract those 7 deadly sins. Okay? So keep the questions coming. I like them. I will be doing a question and answer on the next month. And like I said, think about it. We will talk more into it as time goes by. I will readdress these topics and really talk about each and every one in depth. Okay, but this was pretty much the outline I wanted to speak about today, but you'll hear more in the coming weeks. Until then, you know the drill. Subscribe to YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and really look at how you can be the best person you can be, because at the end of the day, you're the one that's going to win by feeling better. Take care. All my love. Bye-bye.